Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is a little bit of a different video. I've seen it around. I love watching them and I need something that's going to involve limited editing to get y'all going there. I have filmed kind of a homeschool update 3 times now and I've had to scratch all 3 videos. Catherine, please do not shake the crib. It's housing my camera right now. And I have other videos that I need to spend some time editing and polishing and I just don't have really a lot of time right now. I have 10 minutes to film this video, and while it's converting into my laptop, I'm going to take the boys to Jiu-Jitsu, come home, pretty much just save it so I can upload it to YouTube. And you'll have something to see tomorrow. You want to show them that?
Yeah.
Okay, come show them that.
I'm
not editing stuff. This is your... Okay, come over here.
This is my brother's.
What is it?
It's but John.
Ow. John, don't bite. John, don't bite.
I
I know. Okay, go play. Go play. Go find Emma. You want to sit on my lap? Want to sit with Mommy? Up, up, up. Okay, say hi. There we go. Okay, alright. So, this video is pretty much what I'm reading right now. I'm not even going to share what I have read or anything like that. I have a homeschool favorites coming, a monthly favorites coming, and a couple other videos. I think I already mentioned this, but yeah, I'm going to get through it. A lot of these books that I'm currently reading are part of some kind of book club. Funny story, I was talking to somebody a couple months ago how I would love to be in a book club. I never find any. And then suddenly she started one. And then all of these other ones kind of just started popping up and I was able to do them. So that was really cool. And at the same time, I'm like, oh boy, I might have overcommitted myself to some of these. So, with that, a YouTuber has a book club on Goodreads, and you can go check her out. It's Emily from ARG Schooling. I will link her down below. She also has all the information there to join the Read Like a Mom book club. And this month they are doing The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, I want to say. It's one that I've always wanted to read, but I can't get it at the library right now. It's been checked out, and I don't know what I'm on. I think I'm on 13th on the list, or something like that. I don't remember. I haven't checked in a while. I probably should. I just put the request in, and I saw something like 13th, or something like that. But anyway, I have been reading her literary education. I think I'm only a couple... I don't even think I've made it to chapter 1. So you've got page 8, and yeah, I've only read the foreword and introduction. I recently started this, and I actually lost it. When I was school planning, it ended up on the shelf with some of the school books for the kids, and then when I went to pull this week's school books out, I found it again. I was like, oh yeah, and so I finished the introduction of that. But as soon as I can, I want to jump on board with their Read Like a Mom book club and do The Nightingale, because that's one I've wanted to read. And that's the really cool thing about book clubs, is that they generally choose books that are popular or ones that you've wanted to read, or I've wanted to read, and all that. And because of that, our local used bookstore is doing The Picture of Dorian Gray. I did this in school, and I watched the movie with Angela Lansbury, like the old black and white film, and it's always left a huge impression on me. And so I have like another week and a half to finish this book for their discussion. I don't think their discussion is tomorrow. I think it's next Thursday. But anyway, it's not that thick. It just is very thought-provoking. So I'm reading Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray. It will be a high school required reading. I'm glad that my mother required it of me, especially in that season of my life. and I will be requiring it, and then I like rereading it now in my current season of life. On Instagram, they are doing this. I am behind on this, I will tell you. I had to just kind of set a lot of stuff aside because just of where I was in my life. We got to the introduction, and I think they're on chapter 3, if not 4, and I haven't even gotten to part 1. I'm just going into this and making notes and trying to get caught up on that, but I am currently reading it. It is on my nightstand. Told you I'm not editing this out. You get all the background noise and everything. I wanted to get all the book club books out. And then I am currently doing Death Comes for the Archbishop. Okay, so this is due next weekend. I was halfway through, but because it is more of a slower book and a lot of it is scenic and contemplative, I was reading this in bed at night until somebody was like, well, what is it about? And I could only describe just the poeticness about it. I couldn't describe anything of the story that was going on. And I was like, okay, this is probably not a just before bedtime kind of book, because it's kind of like a classical music. You enjoy it, but you're not going to retain necessarily much from it. So I kind of went back a bit and I'm rereading it. Yes, dear?
Nothing.
Okay. This one is probably what I'm trying to spend my just before bedtime reading. I'm doing Lutheran Catherina. It is the Lutheran 500 years celebration thing this October 31st. And I had been wanting to read this. It's been on my Amazon wish list, so I finally just was like, why haven't I requested it from the library? I'm going to be talking a little bit about books, libraries, and all that kind of stuff in my homeschool update, so you'll get more information from that. But this is by Jody Hedlund, and I'm reading it. I'm going to have a review on Goodreads. I will try to leave my Goodreads thing down below. If I read it as Luther and Kitty's story, I have a really hard time with this book. If I read it as a monk who left the Catholic Church during the Reformation and one of the nuns that has escaped, if I read it as that kind of story, I find it very interesting and really good. Some of the historical information I question. Some just, I don't know. I have a very hard time kind of separating myself from taking something true and kind of turning it into a fictional persona. I really have a hard time with that. It's very hard to do. So I understand what they have to do or how they're trying to write this. I'm just having a really hard time with it. And my husband's been reading it over my shoulder because he does enjoy that. And he's like, wow, that doesn't feel time period authentic. And I was like, actually, this author is kind of known for that. She doesn't keep things period authentic. That being said, again, once I divorce myself from the fact that it's Luther and Kitty's story and just think of it as its own story, I am enjoying it. But this thing is like almost 400 pages. So this is not a quick read. But almost done with that, and I think it's due at the library next week. So I'm going to get that back. And then our current read aloud is Rascal, so I'm trying to read this a little bit every night. But we've been having really heavy school days, and so I think at night, I always do our read alouds during dinner and a little bit afterwards. And I think it's just they have energy, and we're really moving through it slowly, even though it's been more interesting to us than Swiss Family Robinson. I put that one on the shelf because I just did not have anybody's attention. And I was really thinking about it, and I think it's because it's written from the father's perspective. And I think a lot of the books that I have been reading to the children are kind of more from their perspective. And so I think that's why it might have been a little bit difficult for us, or for them to keep their attention. My husband and I were enjoying it.
I was.
And, okay, so daughter behind me said she was. But, again, I reiterate, I did not have their attention. I was feeling super happy when I got 5 minutes and anybody could tell me what I had just read. I don't normally narrate or dictate or whatever it is. Narrate. I don't normally narrate, just read alouds. But if I don't feel like we're getting any of the story, if we're getting anything out of the story, if they're listening or not, I will ask, hey, do you think this is true? Do you think that would have been handled better? And they're just looking at me like, huh? Then I know that they didn't get it. And that was a constant issue. This one, I'm always like, I don't think they got anything. And they'll just spout off facts left and right. And I'm like, okay, I missed that. And then this book is always going to have a little bit of me. It's going to have a little bit of my heart. I'm not sure how I want to put that. I need more coffee. I'm always going to have special memories with this book because it was the first book that my very, very, very sensitive and shy son volunteered to read it out loud. Normally we offer him a book and say, would you like to read this out loud for us? And he goes, no! I'm not trying to be dramatic. That is his reaction. He just starts freezing up and starts crying, even though we were just like, I asked you and encouraged you. I didn't force you or hold a stick over you. It's just that's how hard it is. And he jumped in and said, yes, I would like to read this out loud. May I? And I hadn't even asked him if that was an option. So that will always have something special in my heart to me. And you can see that little clip of what he did over on Instagram if you're following me there. Alright, these last 3 books they're not a consistent read. I'm picking them up as I feel moved, for lack of a better word. And then this one is I Don't Want to Talk About It by Terrence Real. I kind of talked a little bit about it, I think, in one of my monthly favorites last month. This is overcoming the secret legacy of male depression. And I'm not that far into it. And I keep going back to, because it is a heavier book. But I am currently reading this. I am so glad that the person recommended it to me. It's given me a deeper insight. And I have to say, some of the stories that have been shared in here, I am just wowed by. It's kind of the things that you think the whole situation is only like for a Law and Order SVU or something. And to see that, hey, this guy really experienced it with this family, how they were working to show their perspectives from everybody's angle. It's been a mind-opening read for me. Or eye-opening read. Mind and eye-opening read. Alright, the last 2 books. How many minutes do I have left here?
15.
I have a lot of minutes on here. Okay. The last 2 books I'm going to show. This is The Good Pig by Cy Montgomery. The Extraordinary Life of Christopher Hogwood. I did...
Mama.
Yes?
Ben kicked me on the arm.
Ben kicked you on the arm? Was he trying to play soldier?
Then I wanted to play.
And you wanted to play soldier? Well, why don't you go ask him to be nice, and that really hurt, so he needs to be more careful, okay? Do you want to go tell Steven and Benjamin they need to get ready for jiu-jitsu? Waters, they need to fill their water bottles too, and they need to get their snacks, okay? Okay. I did request from the library the other book that I cannot remember the title. I've been trying to remember it all day because I knew I wanted to film this video. I will put it down here. But kind of, I read from Emily's channel. I saw this book on Emily's channel, and she made it sound like there was another book out there, so I kind of did a little bit of research, and I found it, and I requested it from the library, and I thought it was a really sweet story, but not something I really wanted to own, and which kind of made me nervous when I went into this, because I bought it on a whim. It just sounded something like I would really enjoy. But I love it. I am not that far into it. I've been carrying it in the car with me as kind of just as I'm waiting for the children to get out of their activities and I really don't want to knit or something. or my hands are acting up, I will pick up a book to read. And a charming memoir, not since Fearns Wilbur has a pig bored its way more affectionately into the hearts and minds of humans, and I have to admit that that sums it up perfectly. And I'm kind of reading it to see if I wanted to do it as a read aloud, and I think I will. I really think this is something that our family will enjoy, and so I can't wait to finish that. And then lastly, this one's kind of a little, this one's a little bit hard for me, but I am reading The Sea Around Us. Now, a couple things. One, we are doing Apologia's Swimming Creatures of the Fifth Day for Science. My daughter is kind of doing the Charlotte Mason geography, so she's learning about the sea, and help me out, dear. What?
Isaac Newton.
No, but the what you're reading on the computer. You're reading about some of the water
Currents.
What
else is there?
Anyway, that kind of things is what we're learning. And then when I was looking at Ambleside's book list, I think for year 5 or 6, which will be in the next year or two for her, this was one that was recommended. And this is one that I picked up when I was kind of, honey, get down please. When I was researching Living Book Ocean, pretty much, and this came up. Rachel Carson was a marine biologist, and I was like, okay, this will be great. Straight from the horse's mouth. This was published in 1951. I have to say, I have a really hard time that even if my daughter, when she's 12 years old, will be reading this, it's not easy for me. I think she could do it. I have no doubt that she could. I have to say, some of the stuff I have about it has to do with my religion. This is very heavy evolution. And almost so much so that at 12 years old, and in her development stage at that age, I don't think she would be ready for it without a lot of confusion and questions. And it's not so much the questions that I have an issue with, it's the confusion. And it's not, I don't find it to be a particularly engaging book or engaging read. So I don't know if I'm going to finish this. It's, again, a little bit difficult. I think it has potential, and maybe it gets better the more it gets into it. I don't know, because I'm reading the introduction, and I'm reading acknowledgments, and I'm reading the preface. So I have all of those things that I'm reading. I don't know. Has anybody actually completely read this? Can you give me some thoughts and ideas on it? I think I might shelve it for a bit and then come back to it with more of an open mind, because I almost feel like I'm pulling the shutters closed, and at some point you do have to say there's other things out there. However, I really think that this would be more of an upper grade level. I would say like 9, 10, 11, 12. Or 10, 11, 12, I think is probably what I think. You know, kind of like, and even still, yeah, I would say the upper grades. So, for those that are not of the Christian faith, you know, don't hesitate to leave your comments in the below. I do welcome them, but I do ask that you be respectful. As a matter, and I'm going to say this too for the Christians, is that sometimes there's more respect among the non-Christian believers than there is within the Christian community. So I am going to say that I wish everybody to be respectful down there. Please state your opinion. Don't be afraid to share your opinion, is maybe what a better way of saying it, but please don't bash everything because of that. Those will be removed, especially, I feel like I'm opening a can of worms here. But this is something, this is another book I'm reading. I'm not sure about this. I am struggling with it right now, and because of that, I think I'm going to shelve it. But if somebody has an insight that they would like to give me that might sway my opinion, I do encourage you to post it down below. But anyway, those are my current reads right now. I am not joking. These are all on my shelf. This does not include what I am doing with the children for school. I am reading all day long. I'm not joking on that. I need to be drinking more water, that's for sure. But these truly are the books that I have next to my nightstand, and I read all the time. Can you believe that? Here, if you managed to get to the end of this video, let me give you a round of applause. Seriously, because sometimes I can ramble. And I need to get the boys to jujitsu. I need to get this up on the computer so that it will be ready for me to save and upload when I get back. I need to make dinner. Are you following me on Instagram? Because you know, if you follow me on Instagram, you can kind of see more of our day-to-day activities with schooling. I don't really film that, especially because I do have extra students here sometimes, and I kind of want to keep them feeling safe in this environment. But you're welcome to follow me on Instagram. I am careful about what I post there, but it's easier to monitor with a camera, or with a phone, than it is with a camera, and have to edit and cut and paste and all that kind of stuff. And at that point, I don't even pull out the camera, because then you also need batteries and memory that are there. Yeah, anyway, are you following me on Instagram? You can follow me on Instagram. It's all down the description box below. That's the word. And also, you can check out some of these videos that I think you might enjoy. I really do. You're welcome to click them. It's all about books, usually. There's a bunch of books that I'm always talking about books. Then, if you're just stumbling upon this post and you want to see more, I do periodically post about books. It's kind of my one weakness. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.